the fortunate and unfortunate thing about being a film or television composer is that it's my job to really to be able to bang it out and get it done within a week, and that's it. You know, this is like art on a budget and on a time schedule, and I'm very aware of that. I got Zim through a less typical way than I normally get work, which is I actually got an email out of the blue from this girl, Anna Henry, that I scored her student film in 1993 when I was going to USC. It was the first student film I'd ever scored. It was basically the first film I ever scored. And so what happened from there is she sent me an email. I was like, got this email from this girl. I knew her, I remembered her, and she told me what was going on, which is Nickelodeon was doing this kind of edgy cartoon, and they were looking for a composer. And the reason she saw my name was Jhonen, the creator of the show, was looking for a composer a little bit out of the strains of what they were normally maybe using over at Nickelodeon, and wanted her to do some research on game music composers. And so when she typed in, I think she typed in game music or something like that, and she saw my name and she remembered me, so she dropped me a line first. So with that, I put together a specific demo, just kind of music I'd already written for a lot of different projects, sent it in. They really liked it. I went in there, got a meeting with Mary Harrington, the executive producer, as well as Jhonen. Seemed to hit it off, and the next step was I scored an animatic, which an animatic is basically pencil drawings come to life, and it's what they do before they send things off to Korea to get animated. So, and I had never scored an animatic. I was like, what is this? It was just so hard. It was kind of hard to follow. But I looked at it and went in, had a meeting with them, kind of talked specifically about what they wanted and what they wanted me to do, and sort of the style and the sound of the show. So I went home and just kind of went nuts on it. Just took a couple days to work on it. Tried to do it sort of like in a real world situation. Like if I got the show, you know, I'd be able to do this kind of same kind of music in a quick turnaround kind of thing. Sent the animatic in, and I guess they loved it. What was really good about Zim was I got to actually kind of go a little bit more into the electronica, sort of industrial kind of sound.
What he say?
But still doing all of that within the score genre. It was never like we want straight ahead techno music in this project. It was always, you know, number one, it's got to be a score. It's got to work with the emotions and what's going on, and then after that, we want to encompass all these different styles of music.
Zim, if you have something to say it now. Because after this moment, I don't want to hear another sound from you.
So like that music on Mrs. Bitters there, I think in the show I ended up, every time I kind of talked to them about like trying to go really heavy on Mrs. Bitters, we didn't do it as heavy as that. So that was like something, that was sort of a concept I had for Mrs. Bitters, and I don't think we ever went as heavy on that, although we did go dark on her at times.
Yes.
But not to that extent. So the next part I'm going to show you is what I did for Dark Harvest, which was the scene where everyone's organs are being taken, and so they've got to go into some laboratories and classrooms, and they're looking. I can't remember who Dib was looking for. Smack Torquey or whatever.
Torque Smacky. Is that you?
Come on, man, talk to me. Let me know you're still here.
So this cue is just like straight ahead horror. It was just like I just thought to myself, I'll just write like the scariest music I can possibly write. And I forget the fact that it's for a cartoon or whatever. I just didn't even think, that didn't even cross my mind. Of course, still make it appropriate for the cartoon and for the scene. But the feedback I got from them was that this was the scene that just blew them away. That really sort of got me the show, writing this crazy thing. And then later on, there's a big chase. I'll go to that. I did pretty much all of it. I have an assistant who I think did a couple source cues here and there, but mostly he did some pretty cool guitar work for me also on some of the cues. Revisions were always part of it, and that's a part of any composer's life, is to do revisions. And Invader Zim was no different. I would say on average, a lot of times the revisions were very small. Sometimes they were large. Sometimes I would not quite be on the same wavelength as he would, and so I would have to like rewrite a piece. Most of the time, I was just like tweaking here and there. Other times, it was like make it more scary, or make it more silly, make it more goofy. A good example of that was a piece for one of the TAC episodes, and it was like when Zim was in love, and I just wasn't going as goofy and as crazy and as zany as he wanted. Something you would think by episode 20 I would have learned this, but basically whenever he says, go zany or goofy, it means I just like go crazy. Episode by episode, we would have a spotting session every week, and Jhonen and I would get together and we would talk about what he wanted for each scene, and we would literally go through the episode minute by minute, and I'd take notes and we would discuss what he wanted. A lot of times sometimes he would be very specific, other times he'd not be quite sure, and we would kind of go back and forth. Or a lot of times I would throw out suggestions, he'd be like, no, I want it this way. So he was very particular about what he wanted. Also with the mindset that he knew I would kind of go and sort of experiment and figure out something that I thought was cool too. And then with that knowledge, then I'd go home and I'd have the tape, and then I would just start composing. But definitely per episode, I had about a week to compose every 12-minute segment, which was a lot of time. So it allowed me to really spend a lot of time on the music. Not have to write like 5 minutes a day. I could, write 2 to 3 minutes a day, and I felt real comfortable with that.
Mysterious mysteries of strange mystery. Now, harder hitting, faster paced, and even more mysterious.
The Mysterious Mysteries theme, I wasn't happy with that piece. Like, right after I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is all right, and I moved on. But there was something weird about that melody and then Jhonen really liked it, and other people started commenting on like how they liked the theme, and it kind of grew on me, actually, as I had to keep coming back to it, because Mysterious Mysteries ends up being a TV show that they watch a lot in the show. And so it kind of grew on me, and I think that was just something I tried to get out, really. I tried to write that quickly.
Tonight, we'll show you some intriguing video that may just answer that vexing question.